Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you could see it and you could purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing the Zenith Chronomaster El Primero, 42mm in stainless steel. This is Zenith's classic design, scaled up slightly for modern tastes, an impeccable combination of grayscale tones and of course splashes of red and especially blue. It's a watch that wears easily on my 16cm circumference wrist, and I should mention that though the watch appears at first glance to be shod with a NATO strap, the equipment here is anything but, being more of a conventional strap rendered in textile. The watch has a lovely appearance on the wrist as it is a full-sized watch, neither oversized nor traditional, but full-sized. 42mm in stainless steel with a thickness of 13mm above the wrist. The timepiece spans an agreeable 50.7mm lug-to-lug, and I can recommend it for wrists as small as 14.5cm circumference. The spacing between the lugs is 21mm, so it has a nice modern proportional stance in spite of its vintage design cues. Jumping a little bit closer right here, you can see that the strap itself isn't slung beneath the case like a NATO would be, which is great because it lets you see the El Primero caliber 400, but it also uses a conventional pin system along with a decidedly upscale for a textile strap, full steel trigger actuated double deployant clasp. Now that caught me by surprise. This is a degree of equipment and specification that you will never see on standard factory issued textile straps, the vast majority of which could pass for aftermarket units. Here it feels like a genuine luxury article, as even the hardware, the strap minders, are rendered in stainless steel and designed to outlast the strap itself. Now the strap is a textile that matches the tone of the dial with the binding stitches in red at the end, and then a lovely tritone stripe that runs down off-centered, and you can see that tritone matches the tritone of the dial, the grayscale gradient from silver to almost black. The case band is simple. This is the modern Chronomaster case. You can see there's a little bevel on the edge of the lugs. On the tops of the lugs you can see a satin finish to contrast with the polished flanks. This isn't quite as sheer as a Rolex Super case. It does have a little bit of rounding on its flank, and you can see that there's sort of invert ducktail squared off section at the end of the lugs. You'll also note that Zenith, using a box section sapphire rather than cheaper domed or flat sapphire, no expense spared here, and the dial itself feels rich. It feels one or two price classes above the actual price level of this watch. First, outboard there's a tachymeter scale with a little bit of a slope, so it becomes more of a transitional flange, unifying the shallow conical bezel with the dial base. You'll also note that there are steel rhodium-plated applique indices for the hours that are loomed. The date anchors the dial down at 6 o'clock. I like the symmetry that a 6 o'clock date brings to a dial. And of course you have the sub-registers overlapping with their grayscale from silver to almost black, and then the counterweighted Zenith Star logo and the Lancet style seconds hand. I should mention that the watch features vintage inspired pump style pushers and the Zenith Star on the crown. Start the chronograph up, and the first thing you note is that it is a very crisp chronograph. Listen to this column wheel action. You can hear it. It's sharp and distinct. Along with the datograph and the Rolex in-house caliber 4130, that's one of the best pusher feels you'll feel. In fact, I'm going to throw the Breitling B01 in. That is the quartet of best chronograph column wheel feels in the business. The tactile sensation is exemplary, and so is the sight of the 36,000 vibration per hour movement as it drives that chronograph seconds hand at 10 beats per second. It's smoother than a conventional 28/8 movement. Now you have a quick set system for the date that's engaged when you pull the crown out all the way. One of the quirks of the El Primero is that the outermost position sets the date and the middle position sets the time. I should also mention that the timepiece does not feature stop seconds because that is not a traditional El Primero functionality. However, the watch has everything that is traditionally El Primero, including the relative pulchritude of the movement. It is a good-looking automatic chronograph. Most automatic chronographs show you very little. Rolex 4130, I'm looking at you, and for that matter, Blancpain 1185. This is a good-looking chronograph because you can see pretty much everything. The winding bridge and the rotor don't block the lateral clutch, which you could see easily. They don't block the chronograph levers. They don't block the column wheel, which you can see is conveniently blued for your viewing pleasure. And they don't block the view of the recentering hammers over the heart cam. So you can see as I stop the chronograph, you can see those recentering hammers fall. We have both black polished screws and blued screws, the fire blued kind, of course. We have wheels with satin graining. We have a skeletonized rotor with Cote de Genève, and then you can see that the bridges themselves feature an engine-turned perlage, all of it quite good looking. The violet of pivot jewels, the blue of screws, the silver of the bridges, plates, and polished screws. It's a good-looking movement. Once more, all of it water-resistant down to 100 meters. So in this textile strap, you have a watch that is fully swimmable for summer fun. This is a timepiece that does it all. 42 millimeters, possibly the perfect size for modern El Primero, and if I may say so myself, a versatile color scheme that will match any number of national flags. This might be the only thing, the red, white, and blue, that the French, the Russians, and the United States can all agree on. See it and come together over the Zenith El Primero Chronomaster on the watch box. Zenith Chronomaster El Primero by night.